Alrighty guys, we're back at it once again. We're going to be doing our Clash of Champions predictions. And before I do, I want to quickly mention this. I actually watched my very first Chronicle, the one that WWE puts on their YouTube. Not their YouTube, their network. It was the Sasha Banks Chronicle, and I loved it. I loved it. It was really well done, and the things that was said about Sasha, what Sasha said about ending Paige's career, it broke her, and also mentioning the rumors about how they were fake, about her, laying on the hotel floor and all that stuff. Like, I'm not gonna talk too much about this. I advise you guys to go watch it. It's beautiful, and it should shut up all the people that considered Sasha Banks a crybaby. And you know, I just hope people understand that wrestling is her passion. It saved her life when she was a kid. So yeah, I hope people understand why you don't have to like Sasha Banks. You don't have to like her, but you damn have to respect her. So anyway, I'll be talking more about Sasha Banks a little bit later on in this predictions video. But we're going to be starting things off with Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross versus Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville for the women's tag team titles. This is most like, I'm predicting this to probably be on the pre-show. I don't think this is going to be main card. I think this will probably be on the pre-show as well as the Cruiserweight title. Or hell, they may add like an extra match. You know, I've heard stories they'll probably do Lacey Evans and Natalia for the pre-show. I don't think so though, but yeah, so I really don't care for this. I like Alexa, I love Mandy. I'm not really big on Sonya, and I don't mind Nikki Cross. I don't mind Nikki Cross. I don't mind Cross at all. It's more that, Alexa and Mandy, they're just the people I care more about. Nikki, Nikki Cross is a rising star. I think she has what it takes to really get up there. Sonya and Mandy, they're probably just going to be a tag team for their whole careers. I think eventually Mandy, I think Mandy and Sonya will eventually split up and do their own thing, because Vince is high on Mandy. Well, so we always think. So I always think, but I really don't care for this. I really don't care for this. I really don't care for this, and these tag titles mean nothing. These titles mean nothing. They may as well just retire them. They may as well just retire them very soon, because I just don't see them going anywhere with these things. I'm predicting Bliss and Cross to retain. I'm predicting them to retain, but I hope Mandy and Sonya walk away with the titles. I really hope Sonya and Mandy walk away, but I'm predicting Bliss and Cross to retain. I'm just thinking they're gonna retain, since we will find out who Vince really loves more. Does he love Alexa more, or does he love Mandy more? That will give us the true answer. But the answer, I don't think people really cares. Next, we got the other pre-show match, which I think will be on the pre-show. And it's not been confirmed that these are on the pre-shows. These are just my predictions that they'll be on the pre-show. That is Drew Gulak versus Humberto Carrillo and Lince Dorado for the Cruiserweight title. The Cruiserweights are great and all. I really enjoy it. The Cruiserweights are great and all. They're really, really good. But the cruiserweights, they can put on some great matches, but at the end of the day, the fans just don't care. Fans just don't care about them, which is a darn shame. I'm thinking Drew Gulak's going to retain. I just don't think he's going to lose the title just yet. And I think Drew Gulak will probably be the last. Well, since there's talk that 205 Live is basically going to be gone soon. And in my personal opinion, it's either the cruiserweights all move over to NXT when they go live on television, or the cruiserweights just break up as a whole, and they all go on different brands. Like some will go on NXT, some will be on Raw, some will be on SmackDown, and the cruiserweight title's just basically gone. So we don't know for sure. But either way, it has been said that 205 Live is definitely dying, and I don't see it surviving. Just like with the women's tag team titles, I just don't think the women's tag team titles are going to survive the whole year. I think they'll probably retire those soon. I reckon they'll probably retire the women's tag titles soon, because I just don't see them doing anything with those. And with the cruiserweight title, 205 Live, I just don't see 205 Live lasting until the end of this year. And if they do, it will probably be dead by the start of 2020. So I don't really know what goes on with cruiserweights. But I am expecting Drew Gulak to retain his title, though. I am predicting Gulak to walk away with the win. Next match we're going to be talking about is AJ Styles, who is the leader of the official, the original, the only club that matters, the OC. He will be defending his title against Cedric Alexander. And these two guys have the potential to put on a great match. They have the potential to put on a great match. And I really hope, I'm hoping for a new champion. I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to predict the new champion in Cedric Alexander. AJ Styles is at the point of his career where he doesn't need a championship. He doesn't need a championship. He could just, to me, he's closing in on the part of his career where he really doesn't need a championship, and he could, start putting people over. Like, he could start putting some younger guys over. I just don't think he needs a title anymore. If there was any other title I would rather have AJ Styles hold, would be the Intercontinental Championship. I think that would be one title I would have AJ Styles eventually hold. I don't want to see him win the Universal Championship. I don't think even AJ Styles could make the Universal Championship any relevant. So I think the last title that AJ should hold should be the Intercontinental Championship. And that's about it, to be perfectly honest. But we'll have to wait and see. I'm hoping Styles puts Alexander over. And I'm looking at a new Cruiserweight Champion. And his name will be Cedric Alexander. That's who I'm predicting. Roman Reigns versus Eric Rowan in a no disqualification match. This is the only match that doesn't have a title on the line. They moved it to King of the Ring to Monday Night Raw. And I don't know how I feel about this storyline. I don't know how I feel about the Roman Reigns storyline. It was alright. But then it just got really bad. And the whole Eric Rowan stuff, Eric Rowan seems to be his own guy now. Maybe they're planning on turning Daniel Bryan babyface. Maybe they're going to bring back the Yes Movement. The real Daniel Bryan's back. And he's going to get revenge on Eric Rowan. They need more babyfaces. So maybe they really do need more babyfaces. They don't have Nakamura. Like, Nakamura's a great face. They've got him as a heel, which they've done nothing with him ever since he went heel. Nakamura would be a great babyface for SmackDown. So would Daniel Bryan. They need more faces. They need more top level baby faces. I don't want to see, look, Kofi Kingston, he's right now SmackDown's top babyface. But Kofi's just going to go back to being a tag team wrestler once all this is over. Once this all boils over, when Kofi Kingston's WWE title reign all boils over, who's going to be the top star? Kofi is not going to be in the WWE Championship picture within the next 2 to 3 years. He was only given this title run as a thank you for the 11 years of his hard work. He's most likely going to go back to being a tag team wrestler with the New Day once this is all over. Hell, they may drop him into the mid-card and maybe give him another Intercontinental title run or so. But I would much rather Big E or Xavier Woods get a turn with singles gold. But anyway, besides the point, I'm getting off topic here. Roman and Rowan, I really don't care. I'm hoping this is going to be a good match because it's a no disqualification match. These are like my type of favorite matches. I like no disqualification matches because you could see a lot of carnage. I am hoping for some carnage, but I really don't know what they could do. Maybe Daniel Bryan turns face in this match. Maybe he appears in this match and he turns face. Who knows? But who knows what they're going to do. I am looking at Roman Reigns. I'm looking at Roman Reigns to win. But if they are looking to continue on this storyline, maybe Eric Rowan wins. Maybe Eric Rowan beats Roman Reigns. And then they continue the story into Hell in a Cell and they have the storyline end there. Who knows? Speaking of Shinsuke Nakamura, we're going to talk about him next. He'll be taking on The Miz for the Intercontinental Championship. Why? Why does WWE always ruin Shinsuke Nakamura when they put a title on him? I was so happy to see that he was finally being given the Intercontinental Championship, a title that I believe he should hold. Shinsuke is such a great, talented performer, and for some reason they always seem to ruin him every time they put a title on him. Again, I understand, and again, people say that they don't want to see the NXT champions appear every week, but for some reason it's okay for it's okay for Adam Cole to be gone for 4 to 5 weeks. Say that as an example. It's fine for Adam Cole to be gone for 4 to 5 weeks in NXT, but when Shinsuke's gone for 4 to 5 weeks, he's irrelevant. I don't know how that makes sense. I apologize if you guys hear that screaming. I really do apologize if you guys hear that screaming. My bloody sister's kids stayed, and if you guys hear that screaming, I do apologize. But honestly, I really am not interested in this match. I really hope Shinsuke retains, but I've just got that funny feeling they're just gonna put this bloody title on Miz. All because Jericho is in AEW and he's a little bit of bubbly, and they're gonna make the Miz become a 9-time champion, tying Jericho. I just got that feeling. Don't want it to happen, but I just got that feeling they'll probably make Miz the Intercontinental Champion again. New Day, Big E and Xavier Woods defending the SmackDown Tag Team titles against The Revival. This should be a great tag team match. Again, I think this has the potential to be a great match. I'm looking at The Revival to retain as well. Win. Sorry, not retain. They're not the champions, Patrick. I'm looking at The Revival to become the new SmackDown Tag Team Champions. I want to see The Revival on SmackDown. I think The Revival would be a great team for SmackDown. SmackDown really need more teams. SmackDown really, really, really need more teams. And I think The Revival can definitely be can definitely be a team that this brand needs. So I'm looking at. So far I've predicted. Well, so far I've only predicted Bliss and Cross to retain, but I'm hoping they win the titles. And I've predicted Gulak to retain. So far I have predicted every outside of those two. I've predicted every title to change, but I am hoping Mandy and Sonya win despite me picking Bliss and Cross. And yeah, I'm looking at the Revival to win. Bayley versus Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's title. This is in Charlotte's hometown of the Queen City. It's in her hometown. I'm predicting Charlotte to win. I'm predicting Charlotte's going to win because Bayley won on SmackDown. She beat Ember Moon. And, I just don't think... I think that... Because here's the thing. When they showed the SmackDown ads, here's one of the key things why I think Charlotte's winning. Because when they showed the SmackDown ads, they showed Kofi Kingston, Roman Reigns, Charlotte Flair, and Becky Lynch as the 4 people on the star covers of the SmackDown ads for Fox Sports. So... So, yeah. I just think it's a definitely big, strong point there to look at. Bayley's not on the front cover for SmackDown, so maybe in the October draft, maybe Bayley goes back over to Raw and continue being with Sasha Banks. So I'm looking at Charlotte to win the SmackDown Women's Championship. And I don't care how pissed off people get when Charlotte becomes a 10-time champion. I literally do not care. I'm a Charlotte fan, and I'm going to be happy for her when she gets that win. And if she doesn't win, she doesn't win. Who cares? Who cares if she doesn't win? This is Charlotte we're talking about, and it's in her hometown. This is Charlotte we're talking about. Every other time they have a hometown person lose, it's not someone that Vince cares about. This is Charlotte Flair. Please, this is Charlotte Flair we're talking about. She is not losing in her hometown. Oh, but she did that one time to Sasha Banks. That was one time. One time. That was only to continue. That was only done as a story-driven moment because Sasha lost in her hometown. That's the only reason why they did that back then. It was the only reason why they did it. It's because Charlotte beat Banks in her hometown that year, so they wanted to have Sasha return the favor. That's the only reason. They didn't do it because they hate Charlotte. They did it as a storyline-driven thing. Did she lose in her hometown when she versed Natalya? No. So there you go. I'm looking at Charlotte to win, and I don't care how salty I make people. How salty I make you Bayley fans. I'm not a fan of Bayley. I just don't like her. Just not a fan of her. It's just the way it is. And I'm allowed to like and dislike whoever I want. Next match I'm going to be talking about is Sasha Banks versus Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship. And I wish the bloody stores outside would stop opening and closing because I keep hearing the banging. Give me a minute. So we're going to talk about Becky Lynch versus Sasha Banks. And I am, once again, I'm going to be looking at a new champion. I am predicting Sasha Banks to walk away with the win here. And yeah, I just think it's time for Sasha Banks to be rewarded. And her Chronicles was a great story. And her Chronicles was such a great story. Loved it. And I think it's time for Sasha Banks to have the strap around her waist and actually hold it for a damn long time. Becky Lynch's time is over. The man is over. It's time to end the man. She's had a great run. Well, I guess feuding with Lacey Evans for 3 months isn't really a great run, but she's had a long run. So it's time for Sasha Banks to have the throne, and she holds the title for a long time. Also, guys, I'll be doing sometime next week. I probably will do it because I know there's a draft coming up. Maybe like sometime next week, or maybe even maybe in October. I'll probably do like a draft prediction on who I see moving, who do I think should move. So I'll definitely do a draft prediction as well later on down the road. So next we got Kofi Kingston and Randy Orton for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Just like with Becky, I think Kofi's time as champion is done. I've enjoyed Kofi. I've enjoyed his run. It was a good run. I'm happy that WWE have given Kofi a run we can look back on and say, you know what? He had a good run. We are glad that WWE gave him a chance. I was in the mindset of everybody else. I was in that mindset of everybody else that he was going to win the title and then ultimately he was going to lose it within maybe in a month or two. But more I thought about it, I was like, no, this guy's been busting his ass for 11 years, so it's fair to give this guy a long title run. So I'm glad that WWE have given Kofi a run we can all be proud of. He doesn't have to look back. He can go back. Kofi can go back and do what he did. He can go back and do the whole tag team stuff with the New Day again. And we'll always look back at Kofi and we'll be like, you know, he was a great WWE champion. We're so proud of him. I'm proud of him. I'm proud of the run he's had. And it's time for my boy, my idol, my hero, Randy Orton, to become a 14-time WWE champion, baby! And that's all I got to say about that. Next, we got Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman defending the Raw Tag Team titles against Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. Now, I don't know what they're going to do with this. I don't know if they're going to have these at the same time. I think they'll probably have them at the same time. They'll probably have Seth and Braun, you know, defend their tag titles. And then maybe Braun turns heel. Maybe Braun turns heel during the match, and then Robert and Ziggler become the new tag team champions, and Braun, you know, beats down Rollins. And then their Universal title match starts then, and I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see what they do with this, but I really don't care for this. This is way too predictable. This is obvious. This is way too predictable. We all know Robert and Ziggler are going to win. There's literally no reason to have Seth and Braun successfully retain those titles. So then after Roode and Ziggler become tag team champions, which is what I'm predicting. Yes, I'm predicting a lot of title changes here at Clash of Champions. Then we'll go straight into Seth versus Braun. Braun is going to turn heel, which is what I'm predicting. Braun is about to win the Universal Championship, and then all of a sudden, the sound of, and then the sounds, that sound will play. We're really glad that you're our friend, and this is a friendship that'll never ever end. Lights will go out, and the Fiend will appear, and he will flatten both Braun and Seth, setting up a triple threat Hell in a Cell match between them at Hell in a Cell. That's my prediction. That is my prediction. That is what I'm predicting. So, long story short, I'm predicting the main event. I'm predicting Seth versus Braun to end in a no contest, where Seth retains the title only because of the Fiend. And that's going to set up a triple threat Hell in a Cell match. I don't think we've had a triple threat Hell in a Cell match before. So, yeah, there you go, guys. Those are my predictions for Clash of Champions. So yeah, those are my Clash of Champions predictions, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hit that thumbs up. Comment down below your predictions. And I'll see you all. When I review Clash of Champions. See you guys then.